by the Edison Bears. They captured the District 28 5A title Thursday night. And why did Jefferson coach Marshall Fleener get the New York Giant treatment Friday night? Was it a trick or a treat? We'll let you know, as it was a hoppin' Halloween weekend in high school football. Happy Halloween a day early. Can you take that for me, Igor? We still have one more week left in the regular season, but before we go on, I want to introduce our co-host for this high school football show, Bones. He's a former color commentator from Transylvania. Most of the playoff spots have already been claimed in Class 5A. We have highlights from many of those deciding games. The Sam Houston Cherokees clinched the District 28 5A championship on Thursday night, but at first it didn't look like it would be an easy win over Edison, as the Bears hold the Cherokees scoreless in the first quarter. Sam Houston threatening here, but Edison strips the Cherokees' Ranji Hill of the ball, and Richard Gonzalez recovers at the Edison 22. But the drive is snuffed out by the Cherokees when the Bears' Gilbert Garcia is intercepted by Sam Houston's Dominic Cameron, and the ball goes back to Houston, 0-0 at the quarter. Second quarter, the Cherokees make up for lost time. They go up 7-0 on the 39-yard touchdown pass from Sidney Kimball to Sean Butler. On their next possession, first play of the drive, it's Kimball to Butler again. It looks like he's going to go all the way. Just a couple of Bears to beat. Edward Ariando finally catches up to him, forcing him to step out of bounds at the 20. And no, it is not a touchdown. The Cherokees edge a little closer to the end zone on the handoff to James Crumity here. Crumity out of bounds at the 1-yard line, where Ranji Hill punches in for the touchdown, 14-0 Cherokees. Late second quarter, Edison threatens again after getting good field position off a bad punt, but they're stopped short on 4th and 13 from the 5. Sam Houston takes over, and on the Cherokees' first play from scrimmage, it's Kimball to Dominic Cameron on an 81-yard touchdown pass play, 21-0. The Cherokees lead Edison at halftime. Third quarter, Sam Houston adds to its mounting score. This beautiful run by Ranji Hill sets it up. Hill cuts to the outside, makes it look easy, scampering all the way down to the Edison 26, where James Crumity takes the pitch from Brian Williams. 27-0 now. The point after is missed. Edison finally gets on the board, setting up its TD on this interception by Patrick Lopez. Lopez carries to the 2, where 3 plays later, it's Garcia on the keeper, and it's a touchdown for Edison. But the Bears lose this one 41-6. Sam Houston moves to 6-0 in district. Also in 28 5A, the Jefferson Mustangs were a team on a mission Friday. A victory against Brackenridge was the ticket to their first playoff berth since 1983. The Eagles scored first with a strong wind at his back. Alfonso Altamirano booted a 35-yard field goal, 3-0 Brackenridge. The Mustangs' first scoring drive was 5 plays, 61 yards, a big play in the drive, the last snap in the first period. Quarterback Johnny Gomez carrying the ball for 21 yards. Same drive, first play of the second quarter, it's Eddie Weddington heading up the middle. A 13-yard touchdown. Jefferson leads 7-3. Late in the second quarter, Jefferson mounts a short drive, 30 yards. Angel Saturain went on the final 8. Jefferson was in control, 14-3 at halftime. The game was scoreless in the third quarter, but Jefferson put 6 more on the board in the early fourth. Eddie Weddington for the Mustangs. A missed conversion. It's 20-3 now. By now, it was just a matter of time. The Jefferson fans were going wild. Their team back in the playoffs. But hold on. Jefferson's Larry Petching now at quarterback. He sneaks in for the final touchdown and the final score. Jefferson wins it 28-3 over Brackenridge. We'll hear from Coach Marshall Fleener, but first, his Gatorade victory shower.
Go, baby. Brackenridge came out and knew that they wanted to give us their very best game, and they did. They played extremely well, and our kids had to play under a lot of pressure, but we felt like they came back and did what they needed to do. We were real excited for them. They're in the playoffs.
The Clark Cougars claimed the runner-up spot in District 35A Friday night with a 28-0 rout of Del Rio. Clark still has an unblemished district mark and will meet Holmes for the title next week. Meanwhile, in District 27 5A, the San Marcos Rattlers edged East Central 28-26. San Marcos trailed by 14 going into the fourth quarter, but rallied to win. The Holmes Huskies once again are on top of the Express News Ken's high school football poll. This is the 6th straight week Holmes has been #1. And what a game we have in store for us next week as the Huskies meet up with the Clark Cougars for the District 35A title. Clark, number 2 in the poll. Judson is third ranked with a 7-1 record. The Sam Houston Cherokees are fourth. Churchill is number 5. Jefferson 6th. Roosevelt 7. Madison number 8. Seguin is 9th. The Matadors played for the District 29 5A title Friday night. We'll have highlights of that game. And MacArthur is 10th. This is our sub-5A poll. New Braunfels is top-ranked. Devine is 2nd. Pleasanton 3rd. New Braunfels Canyon 4th. Somerset 5th. Medina Valley 6th. Floresville back in the poll at number 7. Randolph number 8. Clemens 9th. And Central Catholic is 10th. At Northeast Stadium Thursday night, the Churchill Chargers were looking to nail down a playoff berth against their old rival Lee. Churchill will launch its first scoring drive in the first quarter. Jimbo Parks will fight his way to the Lee 32-yard line for a 15-yard gain. Mike South will then run the option play. South pitches to John Aaron at the very last minute. Down the sidelines, Aaron will go as Churchill is knocking at the Volunteers' door. The drive resumes in the second quarter. John Aaron off tackle for the Chargers score and a 7-0 lead. Churchill's second score of the evening will be set up by this play. South will option right to Jimbo Parks. Parks, with a nice effort, advances the ball to the Volunteers' 3. Mike South will roll out to his left, wait until the last second to find John Aaron in the end zone as Churchill increases its advantage to 14 with 5:15 left in the half. The Chargers will get into the end zone one more time before the break. Mike South again, this time on the quarterback draw at his own 16. He'll squeak by a couple of lead defenders, use a little nifty footwork, then outrun the defensive backs on his way in for the third Chargers score. Churchill halfway home to a playoff berth. The only score of the second half comes when Jimbo Parks hits this 37-yard field goal. That's okay with the Chargers as they capture a playoff spot in District 27 5A.
Lee came out fired up and they played a good ball game, and we anticipated that. We've told the kids that all week long, and I know Coach Smith and his staff, they do an excellent job, and they're always going to have their kids ready to play.
In Class 4A, the Kerrville-Tivy Antlers captured the 28 4A championship Friday night with a 41-27 win over Alamo Heights. It's Tivy's second straight district title. They're ranked number 2 in the state with a 9-0 record. The Clemens Buffaloes stomped Smithson Valley Friday night 27-6. Junior tailback Eddie Sosa scored 2 touchdowns in the victory. Still to come, our player of the week and highlights from the Jay Taft game at Northside Stadium.
Ken's High School.
And tradition. Gary DeLon reports the 88 team is playoff bound and there may be a new star on the horizon.
The Donaldson Street practice field is alive with spirit and high hopes. This year's team is on the right road to the old days. One of the reasons has been the play of sophomore running back Eddie Weddington. The 5'10", 170-pound speedster began the season on the JV. In his final performance for the junior varsity, he went 100 yards for a touchdown. The next week, he was playing for the big boys, first team. Last week in the game against Burbank, he ran for 227 yards on 17 carries and 4 touchdowns. He had 174 yards and 86 yards in the previous 2 weeks. Eddie's older brother, Corey, at 6'2", 240 pounds, is an offensive tackle for the Ponies. Jeff is off and running thanks to Eddie Weddington.
Unusual for a sophomore to gain almost 230 yards in one game. Were you surprised you had that many yards when they told you?
Yes, sir.
How'd you gain so many?
It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for my offensive line. You know, they help a lot. They make the holes big, and it's easy for me to run through.
Marshall, that much yardage may be a record for Jefferson.
Well, in a long time it has. We felt like Eddie was going to have the ability to give us that extra dimension in a 3-back backfield, and he definitely does. He doesn't seem real big at 171 pounds, but he runs real big.
There's been a lot of great football tradition here at Jefferson High School. Some great names out of the past: Gabe Rivera, Phil Harris, Tommy Nobis, Kyle Rote, and many more. They've had some dry years, but perhaps with the running of sophomore back Eddie Weddington, they'll be able to create a stampede out of the Mustang Corral. I'm Gary DeLon, Ken's High School Highlights.
At Northside Stadium Friday night, John Jay and Taft played a barn burner in District 35A. John Jay will set up its first score of the night. Kyle Allen will run the quarterback keeper down the sidelines. He'll turn on his blazing speed to go all the way to the Taft 18. On 4th and 3 from the 11, Allen will hit Gary Sugar in the end zone for a Mustangs touchdown. Jay will attempt the two-point conversion. Kyle Allen rolls out to his right, takes it in himself as the Mustangs take an 8-0 lead in the second quarter. But the Taft Raiders fight back. Talk about making something out of nothing. Trey Brown will fumble the ball as he's stacked up by the Mustangs defense, but Bobby Sandoval says, "Hey, look what I found," and races 32 yards to the John Jay 41. Darren Broadbeck will punch it in from a yard away. Taft trails 8-6 at the break. The Raiders will set up the go-ahead touchdown in the third quarter. Mark O'Malley will run the option play. He'll break into the open and heading for an apparent touchdown, but he loses his footing and is down at the John Jay 26-yard line. Darren Broadbeck will score his second TD of the night, this time from 2 yards out as Taft takes its first lead 12-8. The Raiders will set the stage for their final score. Mark O'Malley will hook up with Chris Lara at the Mustangs' 1-yard line. Lara with an unbelievable catch. Nice hands, Chris. Very next play, Kevin Landers will take it the final distance as Taft increases its lead to 11. But the Mustangs will score once more before the end of the contest. Kyle Allen will find Jim Lee in the flat. Lee will scamper all the way to the Raiders' 7. Allen then connects with Fred Ortiz in the end zone, but it's not enough as Taft squeaks by John Jay 19-14. The New Braunfels Unicorns are still trying to capture that runner-up spot in District 28 4A. A win next week may do it as the Unicorns won by 8 over Bernie Friday night, 29-21. In a District 8 3A contest, the Fredericksburg Battling Billies routed Bandera 61-0. The Billies tailback Derek Dietrich ran for 3 touchdowns. The Roosevelt Rough Riders, ranked number 7 in our high school football poll, met up with the 10th-ranked MacArthur Brahmas Friday night. The Rough Riders bettered their record to 6-3 with the win. Roosevelt's first touchdown drive took 11 plays, went 64 yards. Jimmy Holmes fighting hard to get down to the MacArthur 33. 2 plays later, Mike Coolball passes 14 yards to Ray Williams, who's brought down at the 20. Roosevelt's on its way. This was the touchdown, a 22-yard pass from Coolball to Ray Williams, a perfectly thrown pass, 7-0, Rough Riders. Roosevelt marches downfield again in the second quarter. On 1st and 10 from the 37, Coolball goes long for Robert Newsom, a 33-yard pass play to the MacArthur 30. Then on 3rd and 5 from the 25, Coolball goes for the end zone, but defensive pass interference is called on Mack, and the ball spotted at the 10. 3rd and goal from the 3. Franklin Robertson powers up the middle for the touchdown, 14-0 Roosevelt at halftime. It was the Rough Riders' homecoming game. Robert Cruz was named homecoming king, Melissa Rockline homecoming queen. There you see the royal couple. Third quarter, it looked like the Rough Riders would add to their homecoming score. Coolball sails one 37 yards to Williams, down to the 8. But MacArthur's defense holds Roosevelt, and the Rough Riders' field goal attempt is not good. It ends up Roosevelt 14, MacArthur nothing. The Edgewood Red Raiders added to Memorial's losing streak Friday night. Edgewood beat the Minutemen 8-0. Memorial now has 49 straight losses, still the longest losing streak in the nation. The Uvalde Coyotes are close to capturing District 29 4A. The Coyotes are 4-0 after beating West Campus 32-6 Friday night. Ace Gonzalez finished the night with 161 yards rushing. On Friday night at Harlandale Memorial Stadium, the Southwest Dragons were looking to scalp the Harlandale Indians. With Southwest leading 6-0 in the second quarter, Harlandale will fake the punt attempt on 4th down to set up its first score. 4 plays later, Eugene Cortez will find a gaping hole. He'll take it on in for the Indian score and a 7-6 lead. But the Dragons will bite back. Tailback Willie Williams finds daylight down